Hello, hello, it's the JJ show. Oh, you can see my kitchen. Oh, it's all wobbling a bit. Okay, it's the very first, the one and only JJ show coming to you live from YouTube. Feel free to chat away in the live chat. I think you can say something. I think you can react. We have one viewer. Oh, this is quite funny. I'm just replying to Leanne and see if she can come and find us. Blah, 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 blah. We are now 43 seconds into the first ever live stream. Okay, Jane says, I've got onto your site but can't find how to access your live videos. Pauline, whoever's watching, can you tell Jane what to do? Can somebody or tell me or what to do in the live chat, and I will, because I have no clue at all. How did you do it? How did you get on? Oh, I had 2 viewers, now I've got 1. What happened there? Okay, so this is all going to be a bit new. So we'll see what happens. How very bizarre. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. When you get I'm not sure how to. I can see comments. Just say something. I'm just going to do a tester. Hi everyone. Okay, let's see if that goes. So yeah, so that goes up into the live chat on the right hand side of the box. Anyway, here we are. Let's see. Leanne is. I can find you. I didn't get a no, Leanne. Just if you can find me and you're online, just write a message in the chat box on the side. I can't actually. I've just got from Facebook. They just took me down. Okay, so in the middle of just as I started to record, oh, Jane, I can see you now. Jane says, I can see you now. You're replying on Facebook, darling. Get onto the chat stream on the side, on the right-hand side of the screen. Oh my God, it's a shocking camera. It's all looks like I'm in 100 years ago. It's all kind of grainy. And can you all see me okay? Oh, I should have put makeup on. Well, I don't even have any lipstick handy. So that was a bit crazy. I was just starting to record and they just bumped me off. And it was like they bumped me off as I was saying hello and welcome to the JJ show. So I was really not very happy about that. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about this, but there's nothing I can do at the moment. So just have to be patient. Not very good at being patient. It's a bit of a bummer, but I think that's the world we live in. I'm afraid I have no idea what happened. Everything just went off, and then it was like, you have multiple violations. Heather Bradshaw, hello, welcome, Heather Bradshaw. So anyway, let's get on to something far more interesting than that. Leanne says, can't find you. I didn't get an alert. No, I'm on YouTube, Leanne, on YouTube. Just got thrown off. Anyway, so thank you all for joining me, and thank you for joining me and watching the video. We went to Amboise. Bonjour, my lovely, you're famous. It says I can put this on my TV. How fun is that? I wonder if you can ask people to join on the screen like you can do on a Facebook room. I'll have to figure out how to do that. We had a fantastic visit to Amboise. It was amazing. I've never been up to the chateau inside at all. YouTube says you'll be starting at 22:28. Well, I'm already on now. Yeah, Leanne. I know, Leanne. YouTube says you'll be starting live stream at 2022. Yeah, no, I'm on already. You should be able to see me live, Pauline. Live now. Okay, we're just having a few teething troublums. We're having a few teething troublums. Oh, she can see me now. Jane can see me now. Not sure about Pauline, Leanne. Oh, thank you for the vomit emoji, Leanne. That's very nice. Yes, it was a bit annoying. So we had a brilliant visit to Amboise. We had the parking was jammed. It was jammed. There was not a space anywhere. So I just said to my angels, I said, angels, we're really in the doo-doo and we need a parking space. Is there any way you could help us out? And then all of a sudden, we just drove once around the corner and someone came out and I was like straight in the space. And there were thousands of people. The car parks that were queuing in, people coming in and out the wrong way. It was just mental, absolutely mental. And we had, I know some of you saw the first video. I was trying to do a sort of a clandestine, when no one was watching while we're all walking along the street, but it didn't work because there were too many people and I was walking into the backs of everybody and there was people shoving and pushing and so it was a bit crazy, but Amboise was lovely. Back to how it was, how it is in the season. And it was great to get out, but it was also a bit daunting. I found it a bit daunting. There were so many people. The market was ram jam, went to the market, walked around there a bit, but there were too many people. It was like the whole world had gone out on the same day. Totally crazy. Just before we carry on, would all of you girls who are watching, all my regulars and everything, would you like to put on your own Facebook page that I'm live on I'm live on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber and I didn't even do my hair. Just put it all of you post it, and then all of our friends that all follow each other will all know where to find me, because I can't obviously post on Scumbag Zuckerberg's channel, or I risk getting chucked off YouTube. Oh, don't tell me. I just froze then. I was like, maybe they just chucked me off already. Anyway, oh crap. Honestly, I can't. I'm sorry. I have never been a quiet, person who keeps a mouth shut about anything, and I refuse. I just totally refuse. We live in a free world. We should be able to say what we want. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more now, because otherwise I risk getting banned again. But it was nice. We didn't stop for anything to eat or drink. We just didn't have time because our friends had to go back to Périgueux that night, and I hadn't even got the lamb in the oven. So I said, look, we can go, but we've got to be, we've got to go there and come back. So the boys all went in Bertie Bleu, the Deux Chevaux, and they were like driving along, bounce, 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 bounce. And Fabienne and I were in the cat because we were, Bradshaw Heather says 30 days is a long time. 5 days was bad enough for me. I know. So we're just going to go live on YouTube. I'm just going to figure out a way how to do it. We're going to figure out a way how to do it. That's all. We just got to get round the solution, because it won't be the first time for anybody, and it certainly won't be the last time for me. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I don't see anybody getting thrown off for saying anything that's, rubbish. Strange that, isn't it? Anyway, I'm running out of saliva. So we shut off. It was like very laissez-faire at breakfast time. Everyone was like, yeah, whatever. I'm going like, come on, we've got to go. And so off we go. Off we go. And then it was like, oh my God, you get there and there's all thousands of people there. The traffic, just horrendous. So I'm like, this is just going to be a total nightmare, a real total nightmare. And so we got this space, and then we spent another 10 minutes wandering around waiting for them to find a space, because they obviously were in the Deux Chevaux, and I'm like, don't you bump Bertie with all these people. But we could have gone to any one of the chateaux, but we decided we'd go to the Chateau of Amboise so that they could see, the view from the top and everything. And to be honest, I've been 3 times, but I've been to the night shows, so I've never actually been in the day, and it was really great. Gardens are magnificent. We didn't get a chance to do all of it, but I will go back again. I will take you around, and I'll do the full tour. I'll go and do it on my own. In fact, Johnny's going back to work shortly, doing weddings and functions, and they're all starting back up again in all the chateaux. So he's going to be doing about 20 different weekends all the way through to September. I think it's about, he's got about 20 events, June, July, August, September, 12. I think there must be some days when it's a couple of day event. Anyway, he's going to be off doing those. So I'm going to have some time on my own. So I thought what I'll do is I'll end up going and doing, you know, individual chateau visits or garden visits or whatever. I'd really, really like to go to Villandry again to post a live video from there and to show you the gardens as they are at the time of the year again. It was so beautiful last year. It's quite a long drive for me. You know, when I say a long drive, it's not a long drive, but it's, you know, it's not sort of 10 minutes down the road. But I will probably put up a vote so that you can vote on which ones you want to go visit, and then I'll go and do that. I'm going to be doing the next post out of face creams very shortly. I think it's I'm not sure what date my soap arrives. It's been delayed, so it's about the 18th. But now I've got my kitchen up and running, I'm going to have some time and I'm going to start making some more creams and everything. Sold a few over the weekend. That was very nice. So thank you to all of you who've made inquiries about that. And I'll do a little presentation soon for all the newbies who have not seen it before. So what can we talk about tonight? I'm a bit shy. Don't know what to say because I'm not used to doing it this way. I'm kind of looking at a different vision and the camera's really rubbish. Can you all see me? It's like it's got like blue lines through it. It's a bit weird. Anyway, so that was good. They really enjoyed Amboise. They loved Amboise. I thought the view was spectacular from all the different turrets and everything. Really enjoyed that. And the day before, they went off to Chinon. Now I couldn't go to Chinon because I had to get the birthday cake ready in the afternoon, and we went to Loches in the morning and took them around Loches. They thought it was lovely. It's fun. French people and French people from different regions, and they come and they see your, you know, sent friends a message. Oh, that's great, wonderful, Jane, thank you. And so basically they come and they live in a beautiful region, in the Périgord region, and they all come from Périgueux itself, the town. And when they come to our region, they've never been before, and they start saying, wow, it's great, you know, how beautiful and what a lovely town. And I'm thinking, wow, yours are pretty spectacular. But they really, really loved it. And it's completely different to their sort of countryside and, you know, surroundings. So that was fun. The boys are all old friends from well, they haven't seen each other since last year was the what are we now, June? Oh, we went to I think we went to Louis' baptism about a year ago, and that was the first time the boys had met. And then we met again a couple of months ago. We went to, unfortunately, to a funeral, so we met them again. That's the first time they've seen each other for over 50 years. So those three were best friends at school. And Jean-Paul is a doctor, and he retired, but he's actually gone back to work now. And Jean-Pierre's a musician and a teacher, music teacher, teaches piano. So the three of them getting back together after 50 years, it was pretty amazing. So they absolutely loved the visit to this region, and they said, oh wow, we're definitely coming back. Fabienne, Jean-Paul's wife, she's really lovely. She's the same age as me. And she said, oh, how fantastic that you're living in such a beautiful place, and you've really made my weekend. She said, I was so exhausted. I've been working really hard, been really busy at work. And then to get to come here and to see all, you know, this beautiful region. And I was like, oh, I'm so proud. I live in a beautiful region. When you're living somewhere, you don't kind of get that same experience, do you? You know, you don't think the same way. It's like when you're in paradise, somewhere else is paradise, and you want to be somewhere else. You know, when you live in a lovely place and you're wishing to go somewhere else, people think, oh, you can't really like where you live. No, you do like where you live, but you don't appreciate it the same way until you go away and then you come back again. Excuse me, my dog's barking. Napo, Come on, do you want to be live on YouTube? Well then, can't, because I can't turn the camera around. So yeah, it was really great. We really enjoyed it, and it was nice having them to entertain them. So I came back in the afternoon. They all went to the vineyard, and apparently there's something new there now, where you can actually go between, I think it's April and June, and you can bottle your own, you can mix and bottle your own wine. So they have the different barriques with all the different wines in, the different grape juices in, or the different thing, and you mix them together. So you can choose the different terroir, and you can mix your own wine, and then you go to the bottling machine and they help you to bottle it and label it all, which is fantastic, isn't it? It's really great. So apparently they have groups of people go around there and do it. They just started doing it this year. So when anybody comes between April and June, that's something that we can go and do. I'm not quite sure how much it costs, but you end up going away with I think you buy a package and you end up going away with a case of your own wine that you've chosen and bottled, which is quite fascinating, really. So that was fun. And then I came back, and it was getting quite warm. I came back and made a birthday cake for somebody who can't eat cream and who's allergic to cream. So I had to make a Philadelphia cheese topping birthday cake. And I made just a really nice English Victoria sponge with jam in it, and then I put some strawberry liqueur in it, and that was all very nice. And then I put loads of sparkly bits and the big firework on. I thought, oh, that'll do. They loved it. They absolutely loved it. And so that was a real good end to the night. But then we weren't doing presents or anything, because it was just well, it was 70th birthday, but at the weekend was kind of like enough. So he said, oh, I don't want to go over the top or anything. So when I was in the supermarket picking up some fireworks for the birthday cake, I saw, these boards that you put sauces on, like a wooden chopping board. And it had something like, it said something on it like plein amitié, les copains d'abord. Les copains d'abord means friends first. And so it was only about, I don't know, 3 years. You wouldn't use it as a sort of a decorative one. So on the back, everybody wrote on it in felt pen. Everybody wrote a message so that he could take that away and keep it. And I got him a mug from the supermarket that said, I love Losh, with all the photographs of it and a big heart, like I love New York. It's not exactly New York. I love Losh. So the chateau and the pictures of the gardens and the market, and that's all. And it's quite nice, actually. It was quite a nice mug. So he loved that. He said, oh, I'm going to have my coffee in that every morning. So, but then they came out with gifts for us. And I was like, well, it's not our birthday. Why have we got presents? First of all, we got a pair of lamps for the terrace. Beautiful, big, black, like modern but wrought iron looking. I don't know how to explain it really, and I can't show you them because I'm barred. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way. I'm going to post photographs and things through probably Pauline, and see if Pauline can actually and do videos, and see if I can send them to Pauline on Messenger. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm trying to work it out, because that's a bit of a bummer, really. But anyway, never mind. It'll all be the sweeter afterwards. And I will make sure we get lots of photographs in the meantime of the garden and everything. I'll find a way. We will find a way. Even if I have to play them like that, I'll be like, ooh, we'll find a way. I wonder if I can carry my laptop around the garden. Carry my laptop around the garden with a really big, long electrical lead behind me, doing a garden visit. Anyway, we will figure it out. What I might do is do some TV things, because I can actually put my big screen on. I don't know. I'm going to have to work this out. I'm not a technological genius, people, but when needs must, you have to figure out a way. So yeah, so that was our weekend, and yeah, so I got these two big lamps, like massive storm lanterns. They're about 2 foot high each, 2 of them, from Maison du Monde, which is where we had bought lots of stuff before. So they're really nice, very stylish. She's got very good taste, Fabienne, very good taste. And we're going to put some like solar lights. I don't want to put candles in because in summer it's far too hot, and they just do that, and then you just get this pool of melted wax in the bottom, and it's just like, totally rubbish. So I'm going to put solar lights in them, twinkly solar lights. I'm going to put them by the pergola. So that's the next job, is to paint the pergola, and so I can get my trees or climbing plants or whatever starting to grow up there. I laid the table this weekend to eat outside, and then it was just too cold in the evening. But it's doing well. It's really doing well. What else is happening? It's been a really flat day today. God, really flat day today. When you just have, I think it was because I worked so hard all weekend, like trying to make everything nice and right and, great and fantastic and perfect, so that it would be a real weekend to remember. And it was a weekend to remember. We knocked back some fantastic wine. Oh, I've got something to show you. Can I just leave the live screen for a second? Don't look at my gin jams. Hang on. Oh, Napo, Mommy's been banned. Oh, God, honestly. I know, it's awful, isn't it? Mommy's been banned. Mommy's never been banned from anything in her life before. In fact, Mommy always thought she was a bit boring. I'm going to show you something now. So, for the birthday, Johnny, no, Napo, what do you want? Well, you can't really say hello. There he is. Can you see him? Oh, no, don't be shy now. Say hello, look. Say hello, everybody. He wants to go out. Do not bark. No, don't bark. Be a good boy. Be a good boy. Or else you will come in permanently, or else you'll be banned. 5 to 12, I'm going to be in trouble now for letting him out. Sorry. Oh, that went a bit funny. I had a tissue stuck underneath it. Where are you all? Is anybody there? Can you all hear me, Mother? Hang on, let me just get the dog. Napo, come get Chewy. Come on. You'll have to wait a minute, though. Come inside. Come on, baby. Napo, Chewy. Oh, God. He won't come in and it's cold. So, for the birthday, Johnny's got some champagne out of the cellar. Paul Roger. Now, look at the box on that. Isn't it magnificent? Can you see all the different animals, the paintings? Can you see that? The fish all over it. Absolutely beautiful. And I will read what it says. Actually, I'll have to take the glasses off because I can't see very well. Okay, so it's all in French. Tess Costil. This is a limited edition paying homage to Sir Winston Churchill. And it says, Tess Costil, student at the University of Technology, Auckland, New Zealand, won the competition of the Winston Churchill Design Competition in 2019. A number of international students in design participated in this concours organised by the English Society of Pentland in collaboration with Maison Paul Roger, the Churchill Centre and the Arts Thread. Every participant must imagine a study for the Cuvée Brut Reserve, inspired, I'm translating this, okay, by the pictures painted by Sir Winston Churchill. Many consider that Sir Winston Churchill is one of the greatest statesmen of the 20th century, but many knew his ability to paint His oil paintings and watercolours have been exhibited in a number of very prestigious Royal Academy of Arts in London exhibitions. Churchill describes his love for painting as an excursion, fabulous heart of the palette of colours, and discovering the pleasure of painting when he was 40 years old and became a prolific artist. The creation that Tess Costill came up with, which was this beautiful box, was based on one of his most famous paintings, the Goldfish Pool at Chartwell, Maison, the most beautiful house of the ex-Prime Minister. I've been to Chartwell, it's very beautiful. Chartwell was even the title of the Goldfish Lake. This creation pays homage to two grand passions of Churchill, painting and the champagne Paul Roger. His preferred champagne, and whenever he went out away from the home, he always took with him a case of Paul Roger. He called it the address, the plus delectable in the world, the most delectable address in the world. And this is the result of the friendship between Paul Roger and Winston Churchill's family. So I've kept this box because I thought it'd be nice to put it in the gîte on the staircase on the way up, because it's so beautiful and the paintings are absolutely exquisite. The bottle is also exquisite, but the box is where all the design is, and you can see those lovely pictures. So yeah, so that's nice. I was going to keep that. I was very pleased with that. Now, what else was I going to tell you? I had some things lined up to tell you. My night has kind of been a bit hijacked, really. Oh, what does Pauline say? Oh, she's giving it a click. Can you just type into the chat box on the side and let me know if you can hear and see and la 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 la. Ask me some questions. What shoe size are you? No, ask me some questions. This is weird. This is very funny. It's kind of different because I'm so used to being on line. And now I'm just unzipped. I wonder if Leanne is with us. Can you find me? Can you see us all? Don't know whether she's there or not. So what else? What else is happening? The squirrels are back. Oh my God, they're getting nearer and nearer the terrace. Oh, okay. Pauline says, I can see and hear you, but can't comment because I don't have a YouTube account. Oh, well, you can create one and it's free and it's easy. Oh, Leanne. Oh, can you see us all? Have you found my channel? I watch other people doing this, you know, and sometimes they do like pauses, and it's like, Heather Bradshaw can see and hear me well. You're obviously a seasoned YouTuber. Okay. So interesting that I set this account up ages ago when somebody said to me, oh, you should do YouTube. And then I never really did a lot with it because it took ages to post the videos, ages. And I didn't really know whether anybody watched it, and I'd like 20 views or something. And I thought, well, nobody even knows where I am. I'm not a YouTuber. I've never been a YouTuber. Never been a big fan. But actually, it's turned out to be quite good. So we're still here. We're on. We're live. We're coming to you from my old kitchen, not my new kitchen. Oh, I love my new kitchen. Oh my God, it's so fabulous. It's like lights everywhere and I can see things and I've got space. And when I was plating all my plates up the other night, I was slicing my fillet of beef and putting it onto my plates. And I could lay all the plates out in a line and tittle arse about with them. It was absolutely fabulous. I was just looking at some new linen. This is my favourite linen shop. It's a French company called, I don't know if you can see this, called Lambauge. Can you see it? Oh, it's mirrored back to front, isn't it? Lambauge. And this is where I get all my linen for the La Maison d'Hôte. And I also get all my tablecloths and everything from it. And it's got the most fabulous French linens in it. And I was just looking because they've got, this is all the rage at the moment. All this animals like elephants and palm trees and I've seen it all over. It must be the tendance du jour, as they say. Yes, and the other gift that I got, oh my God, Jean-Pierre bought me the most beautiful boxes of chocolates. And I don't mean boxes, I mean a bag. In fact, I'm going to show you it. I need to be better prepared next time. I need to be better prepared. Look at this lovely bag. Look at this lovely bag. So, this came from an artisan chocolatier in Périgueux. Okay, and I thought there'd be like one box of chocolates in it. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Look at this. So this box came out of it. Leanne found us. Leanne, Nashville's in the house. So this box of chocolate had a big ribbon on it, look. Like the gorgeous purpley, bluey ribbon on it, right? And it's like a multiple layered box. So when you open it up, these are all handmade, right? I'm just going to lift the second layer off because I've eaten two out of the front one. Look at this. Every single one is handmade. Can you see them? Those little dots are individually piped on. They're not in a mould. They're individually piped on. And that little dome is a lime truffle dome or something. Oh my God, but there's two layers like that. There's two layers. I want to eat one. Can I just eat one? When are you off to the zoo? I'm really not sure. It's not really in the budget right now. Things are a bit, oh my God, can I eat this one? I have no idea what it is. Oh, divine. Oh, it's dark chocolate. It's good for my diet. I'm not sure, but on top of that, these are called Rocher. I don't think it's meant to choke me. Rocher du Périgord Noir. And so these are actually like almonds in dark chocolate. It hasn't ended here, girls. Look at this. Anybody want to come and help me eat them? Frankly, I just have no idea. Now somebody's been in here. Who's been in here? It wasn't me. And these are walnuts from the Périgord region. And they're actually what we call pistolade with chocolate. And they kind of like spray the chocolate on. It's a liquid chocolate with creme de cacao in it. And so it makes it liquid and they kind of warm it and then put it into a paint sprayer and spray it on. And these are the actual walnut kernels. You can see the actual walnut kernels. Hang on, it hasn't finished. This is all one box for me. All one box as a gift. There's the milk chocolate Rochers. And look at this. White chocolate walnuts. Oh my goodness. Heather Bradshaw says that's what I love about it. I love about it here in France is chocolate and cakes. I know, but honest to God, I'm trying to lose weight. It's not good, is it? Oh, I've just found Oh, I've just found the description of what's in them all. Shall we just take a little sneak peek? I've got one of everything. I am the luckiest girl in chocolate heaven. Chocolate heaven since 1911. Who said that, Pauline? Look at that beautiful box. Isn't that just the sexiest box you've ever seen? It really is. I mean, frankly, it really is. So what have we got here? I'll just give you a little taster. I want to get them out and eat them now. Lampone. Dark chocolate ganache mixed with Grand Cru of the house and a puree of raspberry. Taxo. Ganache of milk chocolate and dark chocolate mixed in-house with passion fruit juice. Lime chocolate ganache, dark and light, with zest and juice of organic lime juice. Seville, combi of orange, mocha, infusion of cafe from Guatemala. Sancho, infused with pepper of Sancho. Sancho, Sansho, that must be some kind of Chinese pepper. And a comfy of mango. Oh my lordy lordy. How Rivoli, Rocher, Mandarelle and Leopold, they're like, oh, éclat de spéculoos. Oh my God, I'm loving it even more. How fabulously exciting. Orange râpé, spices of Christmas, Balthazar. Oh, yay. Islay, perfumed with whiskey. Oh, God, it gets so much better. Griotte cherries, Earl Grey tea, pêche de vigne. I am totally spoiled. And in fact, just because I feel really bad about my Facebook ban, I'm going to eat another one. So what shall I have? Pick a number. First one into the box with a number on the right-hand side. Tap into the number, any number you like, from 1 to 20. 1 to 19. 1 to 19, and I promise I'll eat it. I'm not going to find that difficult, am I? Oh, just don't pick one. Come along. First one into the chat box on the right-hand side. I can't give away any prizes, can I? If I could give away some prizes, it might make... Oh, it's a 10. It's a 10 from Leanne. I get a 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, Leanne. You just chose this one. Look at these. They're all painted on by hand. It's got sparkles. What is this? Okay, so now I have absolutely no idea what that is. Sao Tome. Ganache Pure. Origin Sao Tome. Oh my Lord. I'll take one more number. I'll take one more number. Come on. Let's just keep going till the box is empty. I'm going to eat one for Jane. Jane, I'm going to eat one for you now. Would you prefer dark? Oh, Leanne's first. Fastest finger first is Leanne in the chat box with number 5. This, my friends, is... Hang on, I can't see in these glasses. I feel like I should have milk chocolate. It's not good for my diet, but hey. Okay, so this is praline with almonds from Provence, Marcona, and little pieces of nougatine. Pauline's mouth is watering at this moment in time. Oh, oh. Mmm. Mmm. That was divine. I feel really bad. Not that bad that I didn't enjoy it. You couldn't eat more than 2 or 3 at a time anyway. And have you ever seen such a magnificent bag? Look at this. Oh, I mean, it's really heavy. There's about 3 kilos in there. And you know, Heather, you know how expensive they are in France. So I feel really guilty because that must have cost an absolute arm and a leg. Mind you, I am good. I am worth it. So yeah, where are we? So Jane says, when are you off to the zoo? I really, 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 really want to go to the zoo. But we're busy finishing the terrace and the pergola. So by the 28th of June, it'll all be finished. The tilers come in from, I think it's 28, 29, 30th of June to finish the tiles. And it's the 7th of June. Tomorrow we're going to pick up some paint, some stain, wood stain. So we're going to paint it in like a light cream colour. I know that sounds a bit weird, but you can actually see all the wood grain through it. It looks quite kind of distressed, so it matches the house. Put the bamboo roof on. We've got to get some more bamboo roofing on. And then that will all be finished. I don't know when they're judging the garden competition, but everything's looking quite nice considering we've had such a lot of rain. Oh, the haricot vert, they're sprouting. Do you remember the other day I raked it? And I just raked it and I took everybody round and showed them, oh, I've had enough. Oh, it was a bit much really. So I raked the soil just lightly and then watered it all. Just slightly, not a lot. And then that night it was torrential rain, and it was literally torrential rain for a very long time. And the next morning I went down there to show Fabienne, and I said, oh, this is my garden, it's a bit of a mess, I haven't put the fences up or anything. Really need to get the fences up. That's a big, big, big thing. But we just haven't had time because it's a massive job. We need to get the pool up as well. Anyway, I get down there and I was like, wow, they've grown overnight. They've like come through the soil and there's 2 or 3 little leaves on each one. I would love to put a time-lapse camera in the garden. I'd love to do that. 24 hours, time-lapse camera, see how much they grow, because you can see them growing before your very eyes. It's really kind of crazy. Oh my God, that was so, yes, it was, Leanne. It was extremely good. Heather says, enjoy them, yummy. Yeah, but they're so rich and so delicious, and they're so tiny, but you really don't need more than 2. That third one was a bit of a bridge too far. Did I eat 3 or 2? I think I only ate 2. But I'm not used to, I've had so much time without eating sugar, lots of sweet things. Well, only on the weekend. I found a box the other day when I was tidying out the kitchen, moving everything into the new cupboards. Found a box of marshmallow tea cake biscuits, and I ate 3. I had a cup of tea, and I was like, "Oh my God, I could just eat some chocolate now." And so I was piling everything up and cleaning everything out and stacking everything. And I thought, oh, I could just eat a little bit of chocolate. And then I found this box and it dropped on the floor. I was piling it up and then one dropped on the floor and I went, what's in there? So I opened it. There were chocolate marshmallow tea cakes in there. So I went and made myself a cup of tea. And I can't ever just have one of anything. So I had 3. 3 of these things. And do you know something? I realised I must have bought them in Lidl because they were American ones. They had this American thing. And every time they deliver like 1 month or once every 2 months or something. And they deliver all these American hot dog buns and American this and American that. And when you just don't want to eat French food anymore, Heather. Sometimes you just don't. You just want to eat beans on toast, don't you? Or scrambled egg or something. You just don't want any flageolets or any haricot vert or any pate, or you're all saying, oh God, I'd love to get there and eat red wine. And after my daughter's birthday party, I quit drinking wine. Sugar is gone. Why? What happened? Did you have too much? When was the party? Tell us, fill us in. So, anyway, where was I? You've totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, so anyway, so when they come in, they do maple syrup, which is quite nice. Saturday night. Oh, it was on Saturday night. Did you? Oh, and you drank too much. Did you show yourself up as a mother? You didn't do anything really revolting, did you? No. Please tell me you didn't. Did you have a really nasty headache? See, that's because you were drinking that American wine. When you drink French wine from biodynamic vineyards like we do, not all the time, you just don't get a headache. No. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure it was terribly elegant. Why all of a sudden is that some sort of a limit Saturday night? That was it. No more. No more drinking. Just way too much. It was French. Oh, good. I'm sure it wasn't as good as our French. I'm sure it was the export French. Probably cost you about 500 times as much as it costs us, because your taxes are extortionate, aren't they? That's the one thing that I find, that sticks in the craw, is that the taxes on importations are really ridiculous. I mean, that's really ridiculous. It's only wine, isn't it? Jesus, let people have a bit of fun. Why don't you? Yeah, because when I looked into the shipping, we've got a vineyard that we use quite a lot of. We get a lot of wine there from Amboise actually, and they ship boxes to America, or cases, or part cases, or, whatever mixed cases they do. But the shippings are quite extortionate. Shipping to you is totally crazy. Exactly, it's unbelievable. So, like here, this biodynamic wine from the vineyard at Chevenny. It's a lady vigneron, and she's called it's called Terra Laura, and they are reasonably rare, lady vignerons, I have to say. She owns the whole vineyard, and they do biodynamic, which means that they treat with the philosophy of essential oils, music, talking to the vines. I kind of get it. On one level, I really get it, and on another level, I'm like, oh, I'm sort of wavering between the third and the fifth dimension. I think just not quite. I've not quite taken the plunge. I kind of see it and I understand it, but when you go in and you see all the big barrels, the barriques in the back, and you go into the tasting room and you hear, rock music playing, or rock music or classical, it doesn't matter what music it is, but they play music all the time to the wine. Okay, I kind of get it, but on another level, I'm like, but it's an inanimate object. It's not growing because it's not attached to the vine, is it? It's squashed, and the juice has been squashed out of it, and it's in a barrel. So it's not attached to the soil or the ground, but they're still playing music to it. Does anybody get that? Do you kind of get what I mean about it? But the wine is to die for. The wine is so fantastic. The quality of the wine it's just another level. There's a flavour to the wine you can't explain. It's smooth, it's light, it's fruity, it's flowery. It's got so much depth to it. It's beautiful. You don't get a headache. There are no sulfates in it. There's no pesticides in it. There's no anything in it. I don't think there's nothing noxious in it at all. And they treat different grape varieties with different philosophies to create different types of wine. So you'll have a red and a white, and they'll both be treated with the same philosophy of essential oils. So you'll get the same kind of flavour that flowery fruitiness in that wine, and then a different wine will be treated with different essential oils. It is quite fascinating. Really, really interesting to go and listen to them talking to you about it and singing to the vines and things. And they do. And I know that because I go and talk to my plants in the garden. I can't explain to you what happens, but I talk to them and I tell you what, I immediately feel better. And I've decided that tomorrow I'm going to earth myself to the ground by taking off my shoes and walking barefoot for the day. And I'm going to literally ground myself in the earth, because that's apparently what you need to do, like trees. Just put down your roots and growl and then just grow. I know I've all gone bonkers. It's like all of the postal services and everything. It's just bonkers. It really is. Everything has gone crazy. The prices are ridiculous. I don't know how they can warrant charging the prices. The inflation in postage in the last 10 years is just over the top of my comprehension whatsoever. That everything, there are probably 10 times as many parcels being sent around the world now, when you think of things like the dreaded Amazon, starve the beast, stop buying from Amazon. I'm cancelling my Prime subscription. They donate so much money to nefarious practices, it's unbelievable, as does many of these other people. Coca-Cola. You could just go on and on and on. I'm not even going to give myself a chance to get blacklisted from something else. But I've just decided that I'm going to try wherever possible to not support companies that have got nefarious dealings with people. But you know, when you think there's like 10 times as much postage as there used to be, and it costs you 20 times the price. I can't remember. Pauline can't comment. Jane can comment. Jane, can you comment or can you not comment? I'm not sure. Jane's very quiet. I'm not sure whether she's able to comment or not. Hang on, let me just see if. Oh, I've got a message. Oh, no message. Okay. So before we used to have in England, we used to have a first class stamp and a second class stamp. And a first class stamp got there usually the next day, and the second class stamp took 2 to 3 days to get there. I mean, I remember back in the day, it was, oh God, I've got to get the dog in. Come on, Chewy, Napo, Chewy, come here, it's bedtime. The neighbours, I keep forgetting I've got neighbours. I don't like neighbours. Hang on. Napo, come on, get inside. Chewy, do you want a Chewy? Well, you can have one, but you'll have to wait. So get in first. Your mother just lied to you. She'll get you one in a minute. Yeah, but I remember when postage used to be like 20p. And I think I remember when it went up to like 40p or something for a first class, and everybody was like absolutely going bonkers. And now it's like, I don't know, was it £1.50 or something for just a normal letter? It's just totally off the scale bonkers, the amount of inflation that we'll soon be carrying 600 euros to go and get a loaf of bread or something. Do you remember, like in the old days with lira, they used to burn it? You could light the fire with Deutschmarks at one time, couldn't you, or whatever it was. But anyway, I was just watching a French documentary tonight. Before I go, I'll just tell you about this. It was all about the line of demarcation in the Second World War. And it was all the stories from along the line of demarcation, because we've talked about this a few times. And Ligoy, Sheila knows Ligoy, where I used to work. Sheila and Ralph had their caravan there, and Ligoy was right on the line of demarcation. And do you remember the story she told about the old man? And he said to her, her and Ralph were walking down the road, and this man stopped and talked to them or something and said, look at the lamppost, they've got little crosses on them. And that's there, each cross represents one of the children that was killed by the Germans when they came we were just on the edge of occupied France, and then she turned around and the man had disappeared. Do you remember that story? It was really sort of spooky. It was one of those ghosty type stories. He was gone. He was disappeared, but he told her that she should follow the trail around the village because every lamppost would have some little tiny, very tiny crosses on, quite high up. I've been there. I've worked there 3 years, and I never saw a cross on the lamppost. But then I never thought to look really. And there were some amazing stories about the local farmers who had like a carriage and horses with a cover over the top of the carriage where they all sat, and at the back there would be hay or fruit or bread, and they would transport it across the line of demarcation at what they call the custom stop. And the little children were who were now 80 odd years old were explaining that underneath the horse and carriage there was a drawer, and in that drawer they used to transport letters from one side of the line to the other. And this one girl was saying that her fiance was on the other side of the line and she hadn't had any communication for nearly a year. And so they went and organised this collection of letters and they put them inside this drawer. The only way that they could get to this drawer would have been to take the horse off the cart. And the Germans couldn't be bothered, so they never searched them. They just saw these 3 little children. One was a babe in arms with a bit of cloth over their head, looking very poor and very, rural, like farmers. And they thought, well, they're not going to be up to anything. And then they transported all these letters, and they used to have postal deliveries through this with this horse and carriage, going backwards and forwards. There was lots of stories about that and the resistance. And I was thinking, wow, I think I've been reincarnated. I think in a previous life I was in the resistance. I think I was definitely I would have been like Simone Signoret in what's it called? Paris dans l'ombre. Paris in the Shadows. It's a very, very, very famous old film with an actress called Simone Signoret. And lots of Alain Delon and Jean Gabin and all the big old French great film actors. And Simone Signoret, she's not pretty. In fact, she's got a face only a mother could love, but she's got that kind of attractiveness to her, attractive face. And she gets disguised all the time. So one minute she goes into her apartment, just like Mr. Ben, for all those English people watching who knows Mr. Ben. She goes in and she comes out and she's a different person. She comes out as a nurse, or she comes out in a fur coat and a hat with makeup on and a little veil over her face and thing. And then she'll go back in and she'll come out and she'll be like a charwoman or wearing a suit and a headscarf. And every time she goes out, although she's got a very distinctive face, she just looks totally different in her disguises. That would have been me, I reckon. I reckon I would have been Henriette in The Blue Bicycle. That's what I reckon I would have been. I just love all those old sort of documentaries and films. And it was on French television, but it was actually quite sad. It was getting quite depressing at the end. They were showing how poor people were in Paris and, in the countryside. They actually showed a woman who was interviewed who lived near Amboise in a place called Montrichard. And Montrichard is just literally right next to Amboise. As you drive into Amboise, you drive past Montrichard first, behind, and then you sort of come in. And it's got a really nice chateau, and it's on the Cher River. So it's the river behind Amboise. You've got the Loire and then the Cher, and the Loire and the Cher join together. And there's in the department called the Loire-Cher, which means the two rivers are coming together. And Montrichard is really lovely. It's got a nice market. It's quite high up, and the chateau is quite high up. The church is quite high up, so you have to walk up. You walk upwards to get to the market and walk down again. It's quite. You wouldn't want to live there if you had dodgy knees, because it is quite steep. but it's a very pretty little town on the edge of the river. And she was talking about her experiences there and how that they were okay because they used to breed rabbits and small animals and chickens, and they had eggs, and then they used to take things to the farmer and swap them for butter and milk. And so in the French countryside, people had quite a lot of food. In relative terms, they had a lot of food compared to the Parisians in the Second World War, who were literally starving, and because they had no way of growing their own food. So they were, the minute that you restrict people's food, and people who live in cities as well, big cities especially, in times of trouble when you can't get food deliveries by road, eventually that food runs out. And because of our innate sense of greed today, I think people take far much more than they actually need because they panic. I mean, look at the beginning of the CO, what's it? It was all about toilet rolls. Well, we didn't have toilet rolls in the Second World War. You were lucky to, have a toilet, let alone have any toilet roll. So, and then there was all the experiences of the town versus countryside, in terms of, in the town you could get things like electrical equipment or cigarettes or clandestine things or whatever, because you had black market spivs going around, selling anything you wanted, lipstick or fuel for your car or whatever. But they didn't have that in the countryside. That there was a different kind of need and want in the countryside. And so they did survive much better through the war than the town people, who were literally, their lifeline was sucked off, and they were literally just living on meager rations, and then they had to go and collect their bread, and there was probably a 2 or 3 hour queue to get a little tiny piece of bread like this. And I hate throwing bread away for that reason when I see these people. And Mamet used to say, they were literally starving in the war when she was in Versailles, and they literally had no food. And that's when her grandparents took them to the Auvergne. They went to the mountains, and then they were protected for the rest of the war, really. But even in the Auvergne, they used to hide the Jewish children. They used to hide Jewish children in the old farmhouses, where they used to be above the porchery where the pigs were, or the cows or whatever, and there would be like a mezzanine where all the food would go, and then they would hide children up there, and they would live under the straw, and they had all sorts of ways of escaping. And there were some fantastic stories. Jane says fascinating stories of old. Yeah, I just find it really interesting. And the other day there was a brilliant documentary on television here. It was actually called Envoy Special. And if Heather's still with us, I can't move this up now. That's funny. Oh, I have to use me. What's it? Yeah, if Heather Bradshaw's still here, because we've got another Heather. I don't know whether she hasn't managed to find us tonight, maybe. But there was Envoy Special is on once a week, and it's a lady called Elise Lucet. She does these exposés and documentaries, and she did one about inheritance inheritances in the villages, and how quite often there'll be a surprise inheritance in a village where the whole village is left the estate of somebody who has no family or who wants to make a bequest. And this special program, it's on I think it's 2 hours once a week. They do all different types of subjects, but it was one of these fascinating subjects the other week was about just this story. And one village, there was a vigneron. I can't remember where it was. It wasn't far from Bordeaux, and it wasn't a fine piece of land or anything, but it was about 20 hectares of vineyards. And this old guy died. He was like 90, and he died and left his whole vineyard to the village. And the vineyard was able to be kept going because they formed a cooperative, because they didn't really know what to do with it. They were like, well, we can't, how do we run a vineyard? It's a lot of work. It needs, trained people. We need to pay wages. How do we pay wages? And they set up a sort of a cooperative business where they were able to get some funding initially to help them to kind of bring it all together. And then as soon as they started making money from the wine, they were sort of in profit, and all that money went to the commune village. And they had all people who'd lost their jobs or retired or whatever, who came back to the industry. And one chap had been a vigneron all his life, and he'd been made redundant because a family had sold their land to a bigger, more mechanical based wine operation. And so he'd lost his job, and he was in his 50s, I think, and he took a job in the commune, and they all got proper salaries, they were paid and everything, proper market rates. And he said it's amazing because now he's working with organic. The vigneron said he wanted the wine to be organic. He left specific instructions that they should turn it into an organic vineyard. So that's what they decided to do. And so they had one old guy who was worked at the milk factory that had lost his job because it had closed down. Someone else was a carpenter who decided he'd had enough. Roofing man who just thought, I'm too old to get up on roofs anymore, but I'd really like to work in a vineyard. And so they had someone bottling, someone doing the labels, sticking the labels on, and they used donkey milk to stick the labels on, which is brilliant because they're organic, and they're using a product which is not no chemicals in it, and they can stick this label on. And so they got one person putting the bottles in, the corks in the bottles, and somebody else sticking the labels on by hand, and then putting them in the cases and marking them up. And it was really, really great. And the amount of people who leave money to their villages in France is phenomenal, far more than I've ever heard of in England, because people in England tend not to be quite as altruistic as that. They leave things with lots of specific conditions, whereas in France it's like I leave it to the mayor and the commune, which is all a bit lax and a bit trusting. But anyway, there was one chap being interviewed, and I think he'd lived in a city, and he'd come back with his father. Oh, Carlene's commenting. She can't comment. I can't reply to her comment on the photo. Never mind. And he'd lived in the city, and he'd found out that his father, he was quite wealthy, he had quite a lot of money, and he's found out that his father had left the majority of his estate to the village on the condition that it was used to build or to create a project for elderly people. A project. He didn't stipulate, no more. You go sit down. Telling him off. This money was stipulated that it had to be used to make the lives of elderly people better. And I think it was something like 250,000 euros or something, or was it? No, it was it was more than that. It was like 2.5 million. It was a hell of a lot of money anyway. And what they decided to build was this kind of group of small apartments, like small mini houses, all joined together with a communal area where they could do pétanque and they could play games, and there was a little cafeteria, and they could have food every day, and it was all for people, and you had to have lived in the village to get a place there. It was absolutely amazing. Some of the inheritances. Oh, I can't speak now. Some of the inheritances that they receive can be a poison chalice, because the stipulations on them can be such that in order to accept the bequest, you have to fulfill certain criteria, which could involve finances that the commune don't own or don't have access to. So in order to get hold of their investment or their inheritance, they have to pay almost to get it, because they have to invest in legal advice or help, or perhaps they have to kind of provide something. In order to get one thing, they have to provide another, and they don't have the money for that. So it's not always a good thing, but generally these people were really happy with the fact that they inherited all this money, and the communes were, I think one of the bequests, or I read somewhere recently that somebody had left the money to buy the local bar and to keep it running, because the people couldn't afford to keep the business running. And the money that was left to the commune, it was to create their own local bar, restaurant, or little brasserie or whatever, just for the local people to keep it going, so that, you know, the same tradition would carry on for generations like it had done before. But with obviously the financial crash and the fact that taxes in France are, you know, they might as well put a knife to your throat to get money out of you, because it's just ridiculous. And so lots of these small businesses and small auberges and bars and cafes, they've just all gone bust, because the charge social is so high. I think if you pay somebody a salary, for example, of €2,000 a month, your employer also has to pay 2,000. So that means that your salary actually costs your employer 4,000 a month instead of a normal salary of 2 plus a few taxes, a few hundred. This is like double the amount. And so that's why so many businesses are struggling, because they just can't afford the fees. They can't afford the taxes. You shouldn't call them fees, they're taxes. Call a cat a cat. Oh, so anyway, we've been on for ages. What's new? Unfortunately, we can't go to Africa. But I'm thinking, I'm wondering if I can do some sort of a split screen. Is that a calendar up there on the left? That's my camera. That's my live. What I might have to do is figure out how to do something on the main telly and then just video it live onto YouTube. I don't know yet. You might have to just wait. You might be sick of the sight of me. And then you'll go, oh, it's great. She's back. Not bored anymore. Anyway, apologies. Well, no, I'm not apologising to anyone. I'm not apologising for anything, whatever. You know, we're not a bunch of commies. So free speech or no speech. But I am going to be extremely good. I'm going to be a model citizen. So mad. I tell you, I could smash it through the window, but I'm going to be the model citizen. I'm going to be the model global citizen, and just be totally censored. I'm going to have a little bell, and then every time I want to say something that I shouldn't, I just ring the bell. Beep, 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 beep. I'm afraid that's me, folks. You can't change me. You wouldn't want to change me anyway, would you, really? That's what I say. What we might do is, for a live at the weekend, I might try and figure out how to do a Zoom. I've got Zoom downloaded on my computer, actually. So anybody who wants to join the live who's watching tonight, just look into downloading the Zoom thing on your phone or PC or whatever it is, and we'll try and do a Zoom. There's only one thing wrong with that: it's not going to work for Sheila, because she can hardly get on. She wouldn't be able to get on this, let alone get on Zoom. She's very good at computers and things compared to most people of her age that I know. She's pretty amazing, but I think that would be a bit of a bridge too far. However, we could organise a big party night on my first night back on Facebook Room. In the meantime, I'm going to try and get on independently and see. I tried to set up a second account the other time, but they barred me off that as well. They literally bar you off everything. It's totally ridiculous. I've just gone into a parallel universe right now. But anyway, thank you all so much for actually taking the trouble to get on here tonight with me, and to have the first live YouTube live JJ show. I'm sure I'm the least interesting person on the internet right now, but it's better than it's better than talking to yourself or the dog or anyone else. So what I'll do is I will keep in touch with with my mods. That's very cool to say that, my mods. Pauline, you can be one of my mods if you wouldn't mind accepting the challenge. Jane's busy, she'll be working, Leanne's working. But if Pauline could be my mod, if you could all friend Pauline Barber, and then first of all, Pauline will have loads more friends anyway. Not that she hasn't got loads, but I'm just saying she'll end up with loads more friends. And secondly, she's my mod. I've just nominated her to be my mod. So any questions, what I might do is post her photos and get her to post them on the visitors page of La Bijouterie. But the messaging system still does work. So if we figure out between me and my mod, Pauline, your new job, you're a mod, we'll figure out how to put a post on there saying, you know, please message JJ as usual, because I should still be able to get all my messages. Oh no, this is hilarious. Everybody's commenting now and I can't answer. Oh yeah, oh that's all right. Yeah, fine. Because I did post some really nice pictures of Amboise and the chateau. Oh yeah, Carlene's laughing at the fact I've been banned. Thanks, Carlene. That's nice of you. I know you love me too. 500 people on here. Okay, well, 27,000 messages. I give up. Anyway, thanks for joining me on the first ever live YouTube show. So JJ signing off. Have a great evening. Have a great day wherever you are. Have you got any last questions? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace. Thank you all for joining me. It's been a blast. There is more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. And we'll figure out a way to do a live chat together so we don't leave our friends high and dry. And we'll be back very, very soon. So bye-bye from JJ in the Loire Valley. See ya. Oh, your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. Still here. Sure you want me to go yet?